Slowly begin to open the eyes, either bringing yourself into your tabletop, crossing the ankles, coming to a comfortable seated. Now, if your knees are quite high as you're cross-legged, you could always take blocks either underneath your knees, or you could take a block underneath the hips, whatever feels more comfortable. And then don't create such a tight bind. Allow the legs to be a little more loose, with the palms resting down on the knees. So when you get into this position, you're just going to slowly start to make circles around your spine. So start by pushing the chest forward, favoring one side with the ribs, and then pulling the rib cage back, and then returning to the opposite side, and then continue those circle sets. It's up to you if you want to focus on something out in front of you, or if you want to keep the eyes closed. And every time you come back into that position where the chest is reaching forward, see if you could arch the spine and find a little bit more of that flexibility, reaching that chest forward, engaging your core to pull the rib cage back. Go for 2 more circles. And then switch. Now pay attention if you're holding your breath. Continue to breathe in and out of the nose. If the body in any way is shaking, if your breath feels a little rigid, maybe lighten, pull back on the range of motion. So then you could still have a steady inhale and rhythmic exhale. You know you've gone too far if you're holding your breath right now and doing this. Okay, let's go for 3 more. Last one. And as you come to a neutral, take those movements now into your shoulders. So just rolling the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, rolling them back and down. And then continue just circling out your shoulders. We're going to try to maintain this nice pace as we work throughout different areas of the body. Then we'll get into some longer holds. So go for 2 more circles and then switch the direction of the circles in the shoulders. Try to maintain a nice tall posture. Smiling helps. Still breathing in and out of the nose here. Go for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Your right palm plants down. Reach the left arm up and over and finding a pulse. Try to roll that left shoulder blade back. Keeping the shoulder scapula down, that length through the back of your neck. Anytime you pulse, perhaps you go a bit deeper. Go for 2 more. And then cartwheel yourself over to the other side. You could be breathing in and out of the nose. In through the nose, out of the mouth. Good, almost there. We're going to come into some holds coming up. Take about 2 more pulses. Cartwheel yourself over to the opposite side. Inhale, lengthen, roll the left shoulder blade back. Exhale, get into your deepest side stretch. Now pay attention that your left hip bone doesn't lift. The glutes are still grounded. Try to pull that left tricep back. If your neck is okay, you can look past the left tricep or stay looking straight forward. You can soften your gaze if you choose. We've got about 5 more breaths. Using the momentum of your left arm, slowly bring yourself back up to center. Inhale, reach the right arm up, and then exhale, just leaning over toward the side of the body. Breathing nice and deep, feeling the intercostal muscles really open and stretch. Good, about 2 more breaths. Right arm slowly brings you back up to neutral. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to pop the chest forward and then pull the chest back. Inhale, exhale. Try to keep the palms facing down on the knees. Really getting that squeeze in between the shoulder blades and the back body. And you can use the support of the palms here, like you're pulling yourself forward. Then you take a strong exhalation to pull the rib cage back. You can find a little bit of a pulsing breath in and out of the nose. And then naturally, you'll feel the tailbone start to rock as well. So kind of like your cat-cows, but just in a seated position. Try not to do anything funky with your head right now. Your chin stays parallel to the mat. Okay, you're just going to go for about 5 more. 4, 3, 2. Keep the chest reaching forward. Keep the back arched. And then take the chin to the chest. Breathe right into the rib cage here, really expanding through the lungs for 3. As you slowly start to neutralize the body, shrug the shoulders up to the earlobes, forcefully drop them down. Do that again. Keep going. Three more. 2. Last one. Good. Coming into a tabletop. Move any kind of props out of the way. And we're going to continue with basically the exact same thing that we did, but in a tabletop setting. So palms are underneath the shoulders, knees are under the hips, fingers are spread out nice and wide. Like you did seated, you're going to round out through the spine. But this time, if your neck ables, if there's no injury or whiplash, then you could include the neck rotation as well. Closing the eyes, if that's too much, eyes stay looking at the mat and you're not moving your head, just your body. Go for 3, 2, switch directions. Good. Keep a slight engagement in through the pelvic floor. Breathing through any kind of tight spots. We're kind of cleaning up the cobwebs in the bones and the muscle. Let's go for 3 more. 2. Good. Into cat-cows. Rolling those shoulder blades back, dropping your belly, and then rounding out through the spine. Continue to come in and out of those movements, really setting your shoulders down. Every exhale, pull the belly in and back. So you can do your best on expelling as much stale air as you can. Good, last one. Let's get into our down dog stretch here. Continue that movement by just walking out through your feet. Pulsing the chest. Good, shaking the head. Two more breaths. And then find stillness in your downward dog. We're going to be here for a minute, 2 minutes, maybe even pushing 3. At any point in time, you're going to drop down onto the knees. Okay, if it becomes too much, you could take a quick rest, child's pose, grab some water, and then come right back in. But finding a static stretch, keep the eyes looking past your inner thighs. Keep the breath coming in and out of the nose, mainly cycling into the rib cage. Keeping the muscles of your back engaged as you continue to reach the heart center toward your thigh bones. Okay, for just a couple more breaths, try to do your best to settle your heels. Try to straighten out those knees a little more. Maintaining your head below your heart. You're going to step the feet into the middle of the mat and you're going to walk the palms to your feet. So basically come to a hips width forward fold. Crown of the head parallel to the mat. Breathing right into the back of the body. Bend your knees deeply, start to roll up your spine. Vertebrae by vertebrae. When you get to a stand, inhale the arms up. Palms to prayer on an exhale. And do that again. Inhale the arms up. Palms to prayer. Release the arms to the side, chin to the chest, roll down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Palms to the shins, flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Hang out here for a couple of breaths. Planting your palms, down dog. Pulse again, the upper chest toward your thighs. If you've got lots of energy, if you feel any kind of agitation, feel free to take a few vinyasa flushes. Otherwise, you're going to be crossing at the ankles, coming to sit in the middle of your mat and reaching the legs forward. flexing the feet, and for those that are continuing to flush, you could continue to flush through those vinyasa sets and then join us when you're ready. We're here for about 10 breaths. So trying to keep your feet flexed, reaching for the ankles, and then slowly hinge the upper body forward. Your eyes are just looking toward the ankles here. And breathing into the back of the body. Good. Slowly bring yourself upright. Bend your right knee, taking the foot into the inner thigh. Just plant the right palm behind you, and then lift up through the hips. We're going into a little bit deeper of that side stretch, firing up to the right side of the body, tapping into some strength. Really have intention to reach the left arm back behind you. Squeeze your glutes a little. Good, taking about one more breath. Chin to the chest, hips touch down, and simply switch. So right leg reaching forward, bending at the left knee, taking the foot into the inner thigh, and then reaching up through the hips. That right foot stays planted. Try to keep that left palm directly under that left shoulder. And then reaching your hips high, squeezing your glutes a little bit. Keep lengthening and reaching the chest up and out. Good, taking about one more breath. Chin to the chest, hips touch down, and then soles of the feet come together into a butterfly. You can close the eyes, just start to flutter the knees. The palms can be down around the ankles or index middle finger around the big toe. Continuing to flutter the knees, breathing easy. Good, two more. Crossing at the ankles, tabletop. Lots of freestyle movements today. From tabletop, big toes come together, knees slightly apart. Child's pose. Tabletop, rock forward, up dog. Tabletop, child's pose. Tabletop, upward dog. Good, continue to move in and out of this gentle flowing set. And getting into those shoulders, a little bit into that ball and socket joint on the hips. Take about 2 more rounds, full sets. And then when you're done, you can either get into a down dog stretch or a vinyasa. We're gonna hold off and just prepare for our next add-on.